the more I came into this animal world, I started hating zoos.
I don't think people really realise actually even bathing with elephants, even though you're not riding them, is abuse to them. At Canine, we provide them so much love, the most beautiful environment that they can possibly have. Horses are just profound, like their energy is honestly the most powerful energy. Birds have the innate ability to sense things coming, they're so intuitive. The way that Reiki works is so profound because we're working with energy. Energy is everywhere. So whether I'm in the same room as you, whether I'm in Timbuktu.
Do you know Ma Tara, feminist deity, Ma Tara, who have chakras? So long ago, they have already said about this healing process.
It's been happening for millennia. Even if you were to look into witchcraft.
Hello, welcome to L.O.L. Let's Off Leash. This is Kasturi, your host, and if you tune in until, that means somehow you're related to animal. Today our guest, who have already been given her podcast, is like amazing. Something wide we have explained and something different part we have explored. It's not usual for animal journey, but now spiritualism is in everywhere. So we have covered the topic of Reiki. Yes, animal Reiki is very important. Healing. Reiki means touch healing. 1922, Mikao Usui, a Japanese Buddhist monk, introduced this Reiki. We deep down into this topic and how our guest helping so many animals around the world because she travels a lot. So wherever you are in this world, you can contact her. And we have covered lots of things like shelter. Shelter animals also need Reiki, healing, birds, camel, horses, not only dogs and cats, but they also need Reiki. Birds also. First, when I have heard this, I was not sure, but then when I did so many of researches, I come to know that birds also get traumatized. You will come to know more about all these things. Before that, do not forget to subscribe, like, and tune into Let's Off Leash podcast. You are tuning to podcast. Hello, Becca.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm really, really good. I feel very grateful to be here, so thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Let's Off Leash. And this is some dimensions we are going to cover. So you are doing Reiki for a long time.
Yeah, for 5 years now, solidly, which has been an amazing journey, one that has led me down many different paths, working with not just people, but now animals, but also in different aspects with people, expectant mothers, working with babies, working with teenagers, everyone in between. So it's been a fabulous journey.
Mhm. Amazing. So just let us know, how's your childhood?
My childhood was quite a troubled one, to say the least, and it's probably what has led me to where I am today in order to be able to heal and help others. It wasn't an easy journey, but something that I do not regret or see it as anything as a negative. It's something that I have learned to grow from in order for me to be here and able to help and heal others. So I notice very much so in the people that come to me, it's very mirrored in what they're looking for. I notice a lot of people have father trauma, a lot of people have abuse in their childhood. These are the types of things that I have a lot of experience with. A lot of anxiety is a big thing people seem to come to me for. And also mirroring in animals. I work a lot with anxious animals. I can understand that so deeply. It's a crisis that we're all experiencing. Anxiety is such a huge problem at the moment and affecting so many. So Reiki really helps to help and heal.
So it's a kind of like a communication, animal communications also?
I guess so, in a way. It's more about a connection through the heart. That's what you're doing, essentially. Animals are so deeply connected to our emotions. They're so deeply connected to us spiritually, physically, and also connected to the spiritual world as well. So when you're connecting through Reiki, it's not necessarily communication through voice. It's a communication through energy and love.
Energy, yeah, of course, because see, sometimes what we cannot express by words, it's the feelings can express. It has been also that says that telepathy,
Yes, of course. Yeah.
that energy exchange. And I have, after researching so much about animal kind and everything, I have come to know that if a family having a dog, having scientifically proved that having that dopamine, that excitement, that happiness into their life.
Oh, 100%. Animals are so healing. They are deep, deep healers themselves. Not only, as you say, it's been proven many, many times that if people are depressed, anxious, or have heart issues and are at high stress levels, introducing an animal into the household helps to heal not only the physical body, but also our emotional body.
Emotional.
And this is not just, it's the dopamine, it's all of the happy hormones that an animal releases, helps us to release. But animals are also healers. They are so in tune, and they are able to help us release our emotions. So you see that in many different ways. So cats, for instance, they will come and sit on your lap. They will either sit on your lap, some sit on your chest, some sit next to you, and they will start to purr. And as they're purring, they are literally drawing your heaviness out of your body and into theirs in order for you to feel better again. So if we come home from a hard day at work, it's no surprise if your furry friends come and sit near you. It happens with dogs as well. They're trying to heal you. They're trying to help you. It's part of their kind of duty, right? They're protectors. They want the best for you. They love you. They care for you as much as we do them.
Yes.
But the problem is when, cats are incredibly intuitive. They are really connected to their primitive ways still, and therefore they're able to release their energy. So when they absorb their owner's energy, they're actually able to shake it off very quickly. So they will go into the garden, they will, claw the floor, they will scratch the trees, they will brush their body up against the trees. This is their way of grounding and shaking off the energy. Whereas dogs, it's amazing, dogs don't have that ability. And this is why we end up seeing more illness in dogs than we do in cats. This is why it's so common. I don't know if you're aware of this, but maybe when people are watching this, they will start to realize the relationship. Lots of dogs end up with the same illness as their parents, as their owners. So if the owner has arthritis, the dog will get arthritis. If the owner has a heart issue, the dog will get a heart issue. Not always, but it's very common. Sometimes even when we start to see maybe tumors growing in an animal and the animal's being treated for cancer, let's say, it can sometimes be the case that they then will discover cancer in the owner as well. And it's just where the animals are trying to heal us all the time. So it's being aware that if our dogs in particular are showing warning signs that they are out of balance, that they are not on their food, they don't want to eat their food, they look stressed, they're anxious, they're behaving differently, this is when someone like me can step in and offer healing to bring the dog back into balance.
Good. It's like about mind and body connection.
Oh, completely.
It's fully like this because this Reiki, into the animal kingdom, it's introduced around like 25 years ago, maybe by Kathleen Prasad.
Yes.
He is the one
She is the queen of animal Reiki.
Yes. So she has expressed many ways of like how it's going. So have you seen any change? Like, are normal people are getting into this?
In what way? Sorry, is in normal people or animals getting into Reiki? So the way that they receive it is so profound, really, because not every animal wants Reiki, by the way, as well. I think we need to say that. I think it's more the owners that really insist in their animal having Reiki, but the animal has a choice. And this is exactly what Kathleen teaches. It's what I preach as a healer, that the animal has free will, and we are there to offer them whatever they would like to receive. So it's my duty of care, any healer's duty of care, to be there to hold the space for the animal, and they will choose what they would like. This is it. We do not force. We do not make an animal have healing. We do not, make them experience touch if they do not want me to touch them. This is completely led by them. But you see animals basking in Reiki, so deep enjoyment. It can be emotional for animals, especially if they've been traumatized, So you can experience your animal crying during Reiki. It's very emotional, and this happens with people as well. So when you're working with Reiki, it's drawing what's in our subconscious up to the surface. So it can be emotional, and animals can cry, but they're releasing, and it's really hard sometimes for owners to see, but it's a huge release for an animal to feel safe enough to do that. And that's what Reiki does. It provides that safe space for the animal to heal.
Wow, it's so peaceful.
It's very peaceful, deeply relaxing, and it works wonders, especially for our furry friends who have terminal illness or pain in their body, or even transitioning through, old age into passing away. It brings great comfort. Reiki brings great comfort to those animals as well.
Old age time is one of the time that you need to give more attention to your pets, because that's the time they need it the most, because less of energies, no bodies, not giving their own bodies, are leaving them slowly. So that time I think Reiki helps the most.
It helps the owner as well so much to know
that grief.
Yeah, of course. And it helps the process be a lot more not enjoyable, but bearable, because, they're able to pass over in a much more peaceful way. And also just to say, Reiki is not a replacement to modern medicine at all. We work so beautifully alongside modern medicine. So the Reiki works alongside all medication that the vets will administer, everything in between. It's a holistic view of healing the body rather than just treating the symptom, which is what the medical system does very well. Reiki hones into the source of the issue and heals it from the inside out. So it works beautifully with modern medicine.
So still now, common people are not so much introduced about Reiki.
No.
So if you want to explain someone simple language, what is Reiki and how does it work?
Of course. So Reiki is still a bit kooky. People aren't really aware of it. And obviously working with our energy body is still quite a new thing. We're very aware of our physical body because it's something we can see. Whereas our energy body is just as real and just as true. And, it's all scientific still. It's just not spoken about as much. But Reiki essentially channels new energy through the body in order for our body to find balance. Now, what that looks like, we have many different energy systems in our body.
Okay.
One of the most popular now that people have probably heard of is the chakra system.
Okay.
It flows in through yoga and meditation and, what people are doing now, which is lovely. And Reiki helps to channel the new energy through the body in order for the chakra system to find balance. Now, the chakra system has many different vortexes. It's turning all the time. But our chakra system is what helps to keep us in and out of balance. It's also how we interact with the world is our chakra system. So probably the most common one that people could probably relate to is their heart chakra, right? Our heart chakra, we feel our heart chakra very deeply. We know when we're in love. We know what it feels like to feel grateful or compassionate. We know what it feels like to be jealous or hateful or
Anxious.
resentful,
Yeah.
anxious. All of these emotions are very deeply linked to whether the heart chakra is in or out of balance. Now, when it's in balance, our heart is very full. We feel so deeply connected to all living things. We feel, very at peace with the world. When it's out of balance, we can feel quite guarded. We can feel quite shy. We can feel it very difficult to interact with the world around us. It helps to rebalance all of that.
So Reiki kind of like a touch healing. You need to touch someone and pass that energy.
Yeah. So this is quite interesting because it's not always touch.
Okay.
So this is a really common thing. I think people, there's so many different types of healers as well, just to say, and everyone will heal differently, and that's beautiful. This is what it's about because it's intuitive. But with animals, contact is only happening if the animal would like contact. So with animals, it's, you don't just go all hands in because animals are sensitive, and also different animals have been through lots of different things and might find touch very hard. Same with humans. They may have had abuse, all of these different things. The touch is down to the receiver, whether they would like touch or not. And with animals, it's a very slow process to get to touch. It's whether the animal is open to that.
Here's something interesting that you have already crossed.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you get so many different types of animals as well, just to say on that, you get, let's use dogs as an example because they're a great example. You turn up at the house, you get the really friendly dog. He doesn't care about touch. He wants all the touch, like cuddles and the love, and he's licking your face and they're in your face. Wonderful. But then you get other types of dogs. You get dogs that are really shy, really wary. You might get dogs that are very aggressive, like barking and really defensive. So you wouldn't go in to touch those dogs. The dog in the first example wants me to touch him. He's come straight over. He's like, love me, touch me, cuddle me. The others are like, don't come near me, and you have to respect that, right? So a great example when you're going to a client's house is obviously you have to build that trust. That's really, really key. But an example, if you want to talk about, I could talk about my favorite client. I love him. He's passed away now. I loved him so much. His name was Blue, and he was a huge English sheepdog, like enormous.
Okay, sheep doodle.
Enormous, right?
Yeah.
And bless him, he was extremely anxious dog. He had lost his owner, the male owner, and also his brother and sisters, right? They had passed away very suddenly, all quite close together. So the female owner was the only one who was left. And Blue had he's grieving, and he'd developed severe anxiety as well as like anxiety of being on his own. He had this fear that no one was ever going to come back.
Okay.
Right. So he would be always having to be with his owner. She couldn't, he's a massive dog. She couldn't just do the normal things because he was so anxious and needed to be right by her side all the time. Yeah, huge trauma.
Yeah.
And he was, animal, he is the proof, living proof that animals are so emotionally intelligent and they grieve just like we grieve. So she asked me to come to obviously do Reiki. So when I first met Blue, he wanted to be cuddled and touched all the time. He was lovely, but you could tell he was so anxious. He was, the way that he was panting, the way that he was behaving. He was deaf as well, so he couldn't hear, but he would bark all the time. It's his way of trying to communicate, help me, I'm really not feeling okay. So obviously when we met Blue, it's just to get him settled, to get him quiet, to get him calm. My sort of protocol is that I have a meet and greet. So I am always there with the owner, discussing their intentions, what they're hoping to get out of the healing, what they're looking to heal with their animal. And while this is all happening, obviously the animals in the room with us, they're calming down, they're realizing it's not playtime anymore, it's time for relaxation. And what you do is, what I do, is hold the light of Reiki into the space to begin with. Once the animal has calmed down, once they're kind of settled, you can't do Reiki on an animal who is hyper.
Yes.
It's just, it's like trying to do it on a toddler that's running around. You can't. It's not that same vibration. You need to bring that animal into calm. So the owner really helps with that as well, whether they're allowed on the sofa, coming to sit on the sofa, whether it's in their bed, knowing that this is a space of relaxation. So once you hold the light of Reiki, Honestly, it's really interesting because it happens no matter what dog. This is what happens. As soon as you bring the light of Reiki into the room, they're so sensitive to energy. The first thing the dog does is he looks at the owner like, what's going on? Like, what is this? Is it okay? Am I allowed to be in this? Because, they're always looking for their owner's kind of approval, right? So that's really funny. And then obviously, I say to the owner, just let them know it's okay. This is what it's all about. Enjoy, relax. And as soon as they get that permission, they're then able to experience as a taster what Reiki is, not directed at them, just in the room. And always, this is what happens. The dog will get up and will leave the room. After they've had however much time they wanted in that moment, they will then leave. This is really important because they're disconnecting from that space. They're going off. They're sort of taking it all in, what all that was. And this is the key moment, whether they want it, whether they want it or not, because they will come back into the room if they do. If they don't come back into the room, they're not interested.
Until they feel safe or until they feel connected.
Exactly. So when they come back into the room, this is when the healing starts. And what Blue did, honestly, I will never forget it, because obviously he was so grieving and it's so much trauma, and obviously had realized, wow, I think this could help me. Once he came back into the room, he literally didn't just sit on the floor or sit on the sofa. He literally clambered on me, and he's enormous. And he literally, with his paw, pulled my hand into his heart and looked at me as if to be like, I'm ready for this kind of thing. Oh my God, it makes me emotional now. It was so beautiful. So he was ready to receive, and we had a really long session with him. He went very deep, releasing lots. He was crying a little bit. His body was jolting. You see so many different forms of release with animals. It's very powerful.
So much. Like, you feel drained, your energy?
Oh, no, not at all. I think this is like a myth within the energy world with Reiki, because as a healer, we are receiving Reiki as we are giving Reiki. So therefore, there's an exchange happening, a beautiful, equal exchange. There is no draining happening. It's not my energy that I'm giving away. I'm just the channel for the universe's energy. So no.
So in this also, do you have any masters, like from whom, the spiritual masters, from whom you are taking these energies and passing to the animals, like healing them, or the human?
So as in, what am I channeling when you say like
Yeah.
in the spirit world?
Yeah.
So it's working very deeply with the energy that surrounds us, basically, Reiki. It's channeling the universe's life force energy. Reiki literally translates to life force energy. So without getting it too spiritual, it's the energy that surrounds all of us. It's the energy that we use every day in everything that we do. It's the way that our mobile phones receive 5G. It's from a signal that's sent through the vibrations of the universe. It's how radio towers work. It's the same thing, but we're accessing the power of the universe in order for us to heal, basically. So it's the same thing. But the way that I work as well, I mean, every healer is different. I also connect into different guides and all sorts of different things. But as I say, every healer is different. And the people that I have learnt from in the real world, in the physical world, my masters they're just so, it's just humbling to work with such beautiful people.
I was also researching about Reiki, and I got very interested about that because it's so mindfulness, like so spiritualism, and your body need to be calm. When you are also researching, no, you need to be calm. You need to understand everything is like not science. Scientifically, if you going to discuss about this, that this is not happening, is this proven or not? Of course, it's not proven fully, but yeah. Science also accepting it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's quantum physics, basically.
Quantum
it's how
physics,
Reiki works. You know, we realize that everything is vibrating. Everything that's living is vibrating. Everything that's living is energy.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, we are always exchanging energy. Right now, we're exchanging energy. It's like how you would walk into a room knowing that someone is in a really bad mood. They will bring your energy down because you're exchanging every single day. So with this in mind, you know, it's something that we know about instinctively, like it's happening all day. But Reiki, I think, or these spiritual practices are seen as something kooky and a bit different, but it's something of our everyday life.
Yes, you must be knowing. Do you know, like, Ma Tara? Uh, she is a Buddhist. Like, this is a kind of invention by Buddhist monk, like Japanese monk. So Buddhists have a feminist deity, Ma Tara, who have chakras, a layer of chakras and chakras. So there, long ago, they have already have said about this healing process, this holistic healing process, this like what every layer of chakras, how they work. So there is a specific chakra, because the Mataras, like, if you see the sculpture, or if you see the photos, it's in her belly part, kind of like a round thing, circle. So there is a like 1 layer, 2 layer, 3
there's
layer,
many different layers
of energies. From there is up space for animals, like they carry a energy.
Yeah, of course.
And many people don't understand that,
For sure.
animals carries a very special energies.
Oh, wow.
And it's been already decided by the deities long ago, like when human have not been thinking also that this is coming to be so popular, or it will be preaches into like almost every houses or something, like people like you are coming out and helping so much. So this is very interesting. You can try and research more about this.
But what you're talking about and what you're explaining is it's been happening for millennia, right?
Yes.
Connecting with animals. You know, you see it in all of the ancient civilizations. In Egypt, they had the cats. You know, even if you were to look into witchcraft, the association with cats and having a familiar, there's always been a deep understanding between animals and humans and our interaction. And it's very important. You see it in the Native Americans as well, how they worship the eagles, and, you know, they will channel the spirit of those to help them heal and to help them grow as a person. You know, so it's so deeply connected.
Yes, so connecting. Like, there are lots of methods. Which one you think it's nowadays it's very easy, or very like you can do it very easily or calmly, like music, Reiki, or that acupuncture?
There's so many different types of healing, and they are all very, very powerful, and they all work beautifully, again, alongside modern medicine or separately. You know, it's down to people's choice. And it is a state of bringing your body in. You talk about relaxation. This is very key for our type of healing. And the reason being is that we are in fight or flight mode all the time. It's our new human way. It's like our set programming that we are stressed. We are in a fast-paced life. We are constantly being given stresses from every angle, from the food that we eat, from the technology that we use, and everything in between. And it's about, you know, really working in bringing the body back into its center point. It's called rest and digest. It's getting the body from fight or flight into rest and digest. And it's from this place that healing is possible, because our body wants to naturally heal. We all have the natural ability to heal. Our body's always trying to heal ourselves. You know, we have an immune system. We have all of these amazing systems in the body for our body to heal ourselves. But we make it worse by putting the wrong food in, the wrong fuel in, the wrong alcohol, smoking, all these toxins. You know, we don't do our body any good.
That made us more hyper.
Exactly.
And more, yes.
Exactly. So what Reiki does, acupuncture, all of these beautiful energy practices, they bring our body into a state of relaxation and then assist the body from that state of relaxation, because it's from that place the body can maximize healing. So that's how it works. It's very special.
Wow. The more you go into it, deep, the more you will feel that sensations, that energy, you can feel it.
Yes, so every single person feels energy differently. This is such a fascinating one. And the same for animals as well. I know I've been talking about people, but all of this mirrors with animals as well. So I've even worked on adult identical twins. This is the best experiment I've done. And both the way they received energy was completely different, and the way that they released energy was completely different. No two people, living thing are the same, and we all experience energy differently. But I've come to realize that there's kind of two types of people, really. I mean, there's gray areas, but those who can feel physical energy and those who don't necessarily feel the physical energy, but feel a deep sense of calm, a deep sense of stillness, peace, almost like this cuddle from the universe. It's a very safe space. But those who do feel the physical energy, it's very physical. You know, you might feel tingles, waves,
Wow.
pulses, you might feel heat, you might feel pressure. You know, there's so many different types of sensations that people can feel. Some people feel it as almost like rain, like pitter patter. Some people feel it as, you know, like pins and needles sometimes. Everyone can feel it very differently, but it's so deeply relaxing. When all of that is happening, you feel so safe. I guess it's our most natural state of being that we've forgotten about is when we come into Reiki. So, yeah.
So soothing. It's like you keep telling. We want to know more.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, when you're releasing energy, let's talk about releasing, because this is fascinating. And we can also talk, let's talk about animals' way of releasing, because this is always really fun. First of all, they might lick their paws. So all animals have bud chakras on their paws, and these are their most sensitive chakras and how they sense and feel the world. So when they're licking their paws, it's because they're feeling the energy releasing, because these areas, we have them on our soles of our feet and on our palms. Animals have them on their paws. That's their connection to the earth. That's the way that they are releasing energy. So when they're licking their paws during a healing, it's because they're trying to assist their body in releasing. They can feel all the tingles. They can feel everything flowing.
And this is for both cat and dog?
Cats and dogs, yeah, definitely. And it's interesting because also the jolting is one of the most biggest releases that can happen in Reiki. It happens in humans and it happens in animals. And it's maybe like their leg will kick or kick constantly, or their arms will kick, or their body will jolt. Or with cats, you see like almost like a vibration across their aura, because cats can manipulate their fur. You know, it puffs up and all of that. You see these cats are just so fascinating, and all of them are fascinating. So many different releases. I spoke about the crying. This is very, very beautiful but sad, but a powerful release that can happen with animals and humans. Swallowing a lot, feeling the need to swallow, an animal getting very thirsty and having to go and have a drink to help the body flush, you know. So there's so many different types. It's just incredible.
So, have you done any like wildlife rehabilitation?
So I'm obviously helping with Canine here, which is obviously a rescue centre, which I love and hold very dearly to my heart. So that's working with rescue doggies. But working with wildlife is a completely different thing. I always send Reiki distantly when I'm in any kind of like space. I always sit in nature and set the intention to send it out. But my main contact that I've had is with birds, funny enough,
Birds?
wild birds. It's only happened twice, but, you know, both were very powerful interactions. And both were because a bird had fallen out of the nest, or had, you know, sometimes birds fly into windows and bless them, they become unconscious and disorientated. And both I worked, and birds heal very quickly. They're honestly, so obviously they're in a state of dazed and confused when I had found them. So holding them in my hands, this is when I did pick them up. Because they were all disorientated. It was just to make them feel safe. Sometimes it's just being intuitive to that. Some birds will not want to be picked up. They didn't even attempt to fly away. You know, in this case, it was quite intuitive. And just while they were in my hands, just holding the light of Reiki, and you could feel their little heart racing, and it slowly calming down, getting them back to a state of like, okay, what's just happened to me, you know? And then watching them fly away out of your hands once they're feeling better.
Wow. Yeah, because plucking and this, no, that traumatized birds
Oh,
also.
God, of course, yeah. I mean, there's so much trauma that we don't even realize that we're doing. It's like one of my biggest dreams would be to go to the elephant sanctuaries in Asia and do Reiki there, because I don't think people really realize actually even bathing with elephants, even though you're not riding them, is abuse to the elephant. It's, invasive of their space. They are not meant to be there doing that. The biggest respect we can give an elephant is to give them as much space as possible. And if they want to be touched, for them to come to you.
Like in childhood, I used to love zoo. Like
Yeah.
zoo, I used to love. But the more I came into this animal world and understanding them and their do's and don'ts and what they like, I started hating
Yeah.
zoo.
It's so cruel.
Like the conditions, what I have seen, and now they are going through,
It's awful.
so traumatizing.
It's awful. I can't even go in the Dubai Mall. I refuse because of the
Yeah,
giant fish
I
tank
have
there.
not been to zoo like for very long. I don't like to, like, it's like you can see someone torturing in front of your eyes and you cannot do anything.
It's
You
so
can't
hard.
help them, you cannot do
course.
anything. Like the chimpanzees, the elephants, the bear. The last I was seeing some voice for voiceless, some articles are there where I have seen so sad. Bear is looking
Oh, it's
up
awful.
in that water, very thin, skinny, and people are watching and taking photographs.
It breaks
And
my heart.
in my mind, I was feeling like I was sitting over there, and I was not wearing anything, and all people are watching at me, and I hope you can feel that pain, that I can't do anything.
No, it's
I
so
don't have
hard.
any place. So I hope this zoo, like circus culture, is
Oh,
almost
God. Nearly gone.
demolished.
Yeah.
Yeah, after coming so much of articles, after coming so much of pressures, circus culture is going. I hope the zoo culture also
Zoo culture.
closed.
Yeah, zoo culture. Also the aqua worlds where they've
Yeah,
got,
yeah, yeah.
this
There's
awful,
dolphins and all.
all of it. Hopefully eventually people will realize. I think it's all good and well going there and having this moment of entertainment, but they're not realizing that that animal has been stolen from their
Yeah,
habitat.
yeah.
They have been beaten into submission. They have literally been torn from their mothers, their babies. It's the cruelest thing,
Just to entertain humankind.
just to entertain our ego, right?
Yeah.
Now, yeah, this is breaks my heart, and something I really deeply disagree with. And the only thing I can say to those who are in that situation, who really don't want to be in that situation, but go because of family or what have you, the biggest thing you can do is send love to that animal from your heart. You don't need to be attuned to Reiki.
They orphan, then giving them rehabilitations, sending them to their own life. It's one of the best part a human can ever done.
Of course. Unfortunately, some animals are too institutionalized for that to ever happen, which is so sad. But there's some really incredible sanctuaries, for instance, for the elephants in Thailand. I went to one in particular in Phuket, and it was run by an incredible couple that really believed in the respect for the elephants. It's not about us humans coming there. It's about respecting their space. And I think the more places that can integrate the fact that the animal is the priority and not us, the more, the balance will start to, work itself out again.
Amazing. This is something which we can talk entire day. We
Yeah,
can discuss
definitely.
entire day. So as you said, that you are already with canine, like you seen like many dogs are coming. Maybe they are abundant, maybe they are old, uh, maybe surrendered. So you met with them and you did this holistic healing process. So how they're adapting it?
Yes, obviously it's very different doing Reiki on a dog inside a kennel. It's a very different environment to a dog who's relaxed at home. Animals are so stressed. we provide at Canine, we provide them so much love, the most beautiful environment that they can possibly have. But at the end of the day, they've been through trauma. And at the end of the day, they're still not in a home, and they are almost inmates with their other dog companions and everything in between. It's not the same as being at home. They're not getting one-to-one attention all day long. They get the volunteers like us going in there and giving them so much love in those moments. But we have so many dogs, right? So we do our best, and it's one of the best rescue centers I've ever been to. I love it so much there.
So neat and clean, so hygienic.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I highly recommend, if anyone's looking for a dog, to go there first before going to breeders. We have, a lot of thoroughbreeds that come in a lot of the time. But also we have so many lovely dogs who aren't thoroughbreds, but are the most special little babies ever. And we love them so much. But working with Reiki is only one of my things. Obviously, I go and help train them. I help, give them love and do all the things that us volunteers do. The Reiki is a complete bonus that I get to do that there. And obviously, I'm only working with a select few dogs that are, open. Well, not that we knew that they were open, but after talking to the staff, that they might be more open. Mainly working with very nervous dogs. So we have a lot of nervous dogs, and what that will look like is definitely not hands-on Reiki. Nervous dogs that we have are not used to human touch. We're still getting them used to the idea of being around other humans. So it's just being in the space with them, being in a room with them where they can sit as close or as far away as they would like to, in the presence of Reiki, just bringing Reiki into the room and seeing how they react. So it's very interesting. Some dogs, again, as I said before, some dogs don't want healing. Imagine it to be like your old granddad or nan who's very stubborn, and they're set in their ways and they have no reason to want to change. They're just like, this is me and I don't care and I am the way I am. You get animals like that, right?
Yes.
So, same feelings. They've all got their own personalities. So it's basically seeing who's up for it. And it's been lovely. Like, some dogs come and sit right next to me on the sofa. We have like an assessment room there. And, they're not used to sitting on the sofa. So for them, it's like, oh, what's going on? And I invite them. It's okay. You can sit with me. It's like a treat. And we will sit and do Reiki, and they will really drift into that deep state. And that is so special. Like, when you get to that place with the dog, and to be able, I think it's been about 3 dogs that have been fully able to let go at Canine. The rest maybe not, because they're constantly maybe looking up. They hear a noise. It's because it's quite noisy. All the dogs barking. So for them to get into that state is a state of trust. It's a state of letting
Trust.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I asked it because you said blue. So blue is surrounded to home. And these shelter dogs are into the kennel. So just to understand that both the mindsets are different.
Yes.
Both
Every
the
situation
environment is different.
Yes.
Situation is different. So the process of Reiki is the situation calming down will also be different.
100%. You have to assess as a healer. It's your job to assess, and also because, when you're working in someone's home, Blue has an owner that he trusts and loves. And if the owner's saying that this is okay, then it's okay. Whereas at Canine, they don't have an owner. They have all of us that love them, but they've got no master to say, this is okay, to trust this person, that this Reiki is okay. So it's a very different experience. So it's much harder for the animal to accept and receive in the same way, but they will still receive the benefit just by being in the room with the Reiki.
Yes, of course. They get that calmness.
Oh, definitely.
That protection again, that
100%.
Someone is there.
Yeah.
Because I already had Siddhi from K9. We had a podcast already.
Yes, nice.
So where she also expressing so many things about that 333 rules. They have 3 days to take a common state on that place, 3 days to this, 3 days to that. So this kennel environment, they trying to do it literally happier and all this, but inside, from inside, that animal know that I have done something wrong, and therefore my master thrown me, surrendered me, or the old one. Especially, I feel really bad for the old
it's
one.
so sad.
The moment when they need the most cuddle and most like touch, that time people are throwing them. It's like a old parents at your house.
Yeah, yeah.
Like parents are getting old after 70, 80. They become your children.
Of course.
They become your kids. So it's kind of same for the animals also. A dog living at your home for last 15 years, and suddenly you feel that's a burden. It's a different kind of trauma.
Yeah, it's awful. We see so many different scenarios. I mean, people also, everyone is in their own journey.
Yeah.
Everyone is on their own journey. So we can't judge as well when, people's lifestyle changes, these things happen, but it really does affect the animal so deeply and it stays with them because they're very deeply emotionally intelligent. So I think it's more about being mindful about before any big changes happen, really think about your animal first. I would say that as well.
Correct. So have you been through the same like dog experience with the feline, this Reiki healing process?
With feline, did you say?
Yeah.
With cats? Yeah, so obviously cats, as I said earlier, don't need anywhere near as much healing
Okay.
as dogs. So I have done far more dogs than I have done cats.
Okay.
But that said, cats are very particular, as we know.
Yeah.
Love that though. I mean, I love all animals, but I love cats as equally as I love dogs. They're very different. They're hugely independent. They know what they want. They know what they like. They're in charge of the household, right?
Yeah.
They are in charge. So for them to want to have Reiki again, cats have to seriously trust you. But then you get so many different types of cats. You get the soppy cats that are like, give me the belly rubs. You get the cats that are far too independent, that don't even want to know their owners. They just come and get fed, right? You've got so many different types of furry friends. But the cats that I have worked with are cats that are grieving, cats that have lost their owner. And one in particular who actually came and stayed with me, who again, she has now passed away, sadly. Jazzy, her owner passed away very suddenly. And it was very traumatic for Jazzy the cat because she was there when her owner died. She was there, walking, on the body, like really aware that her owner has gone. So this is a huge trauma for her. And
Of course.
I took her in, so it meant that I was able to give her as much or as little Reiki as she wanted or needed at that time. And she was so, you could tell, I mean, the classic woman, because she's a female cat, she wouldn't stop eating. She was like overeating. She was eating her feelings, which again, you wouldn't expect from an animal, but it happens. Animals can overeat as much as we overeat because we're emotional. They can become emotional eaters. So she was experiencing all of that. But when she finally allowed the energy, oh my God, was she Princess Jasmine? Oh my God, she was like on her back, purring, basking. Like cats tend to really bask in the energy and they purr louder because they're channeling the energy as well. And it really helped her through that transition.
Oh my God, they are like in their own world.
They really are. I love how
Princess
fabulous
attitude.
they are. Yeah, exactly.
I had one more guest in my podcast. He also runs a right to rescue
Okay.
horses.
Oh, fabulous.
So when she said me that, one time one of my horse is like fully ill and like no one is getting, like, we have left the hope that he will survive or not. I got someone who healed her from hand. That time I was like, seriously, is it possible? Miracle. Yeah, I know someone. The lady is from German. She said then that time I got very curious that is it possible. Then when she said entire story, it's lovely. That episode also it's been released.
It's very powerful. Horses
So,
are unbelievable.
Like this horses, because horses are also going through so many traumas.
Oh wow, completely.
Like the races are going on, the rescue from the race course, or rescue from like about to get shut,
Yeah.
like putting them
Completely.
sleep. Before that, the rescue did. When she said no, I felt so connected. I told her also that I'm as if spiritually I'm connected. So now when I went to deep down all these things and listening all from you also, that miracles happen.
Yeah, oh, completely. You see small miracles happen all the time. And
Miracles happen.
horses are just profound. Like when I've worked with horses, I am in awe and honor of their energy. They are so powerful. Their energy is honestly the most powerful energy that, because I guess the larger the animal, the more power they hold, right?
Yes.
But horses, they, again, it's just amazing how every animal is different. We've spoken about dogs, we've spoken about cats, but horses, as soon as you connect to the light of Reiki, they will move their body into the position they want you to heal. So they'll move their bum round and be like, put your hands on here, please. It's so funny. They
Yeah.
almost guide you in where they want you. They're the leader, right? They're in charge fully, right? So when I've worked with horses, oh wow, it's just incredible. But horses hold very deep emotions, and they have an ancestry of working. So an animal that has an ancestry of working holds ancestry trauma as well, that they have been a worker horse.
Yes.
You know, and what they have been through and all of that, they carry that deeply within their soul, within their lineage. So, and also animals have another chakra called a soul star chakra, which is the animal's purpose. Some horses want to be working, you know, some horses have a really deep purpose and they feel lost if they're not working. Or same with dogs, you know, you have working cockers and all of these things.
keep
It's
working.
in their DNA to like work, right? So they're always trying to be helpful and always trying to do all these things. It's part of their purpose, their sense of purpose. Animals have that as much as humans do as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll ask like few questions quickly about the
Okay.
rapid fire thing.
Okay.
That's the excitement part because it's so heavy.
Okay.
We discuss so heavy things.
Yes, that's true. Let's do some fun.
So, cats with Reiki or dog with acupuncture?
What, as in which one is better? I mean, I will always say cats with Reiki. I mean, I've never actually had experience with dogs with acupuncture, but I imagine it's probably just as beneficial. But obviously, my experience is cats with Reiki.
Okay. And pet yoga sessions or mask therapy?
Pet yoga sessions are the most wonderful things ever. If you haven't done it yet, puppy yoga, kitten yoga is just so beautiful. When they're all flopping around and you're in your positions and they come right up to your little nose, I definitely recommend animal yoga.
And how about that music therapy?
Music therapy, I mean, is just amazing for everyone. So frequencies is what I would go straight to because frequencies is energy. So you can play, if you have a very anxious dog, you can play different frequencies to help calm them, to help soothe them. It works for babies going to sleep. It works with us to try and just calm and center if we're anxious people. So both are very, very good.
Babies I am experienced with because my baby also, like when she's too much in colic pain or anxious or anxiety, like not sleeping too much, like kind, we used to play white noise, that raindrops and all, and she get calms and very sound sleep.
It's really powerful, and it
Yes,
reminds
so
them of
music
being in the
therapy
womb.
I am experienced about.
100%. It's so powerful.
Yeah. So can birds sense Reiki energy differently, like from other pets?
So birds are, this is a profound thing as well, and I'll try and do it quickly because I know this is meant to be a quick thing. Birds have the innate ability to sense things coming. They're so intuitive. So you'll notice how birds will migrate. If the weather changes, they know how to flee. They know how to do these things. They are so connected. So yes, they will experience it completely differently. They are very psychic in a way, and they can sense the movement of the universe. They're really connected to that. So as I said, when I did the birds, my experience was they healed very quickly.
So, as per you, till now you have so many knowledges. You have been through many animals, been many like dogs, cats, birds, horse, so many animals. Do you think any stereotype or misunderstood about Reiki is still there into like human?
I guess that people probably think it's not real. Maybe that's probably a big stereotype. It's like it's just your imagination, or, is that really working, or something along those lines. But my best thing is to say, try it and you will see it for yourself. I have many, many skeptical clients, mainly husbands, like wives have booked their husbands in, right? And they're like the most skeptical ever.
Yes.
They're like, I don't even know what this is, but what's going to happen?
I don't believe, yeah.
It's hilarious. And usually it's because it's last resort. They have tried everything else in the medical industry and nothing has worked. So their wives are like, come and have some Reiki. So they come, and I mean, one client in particular, this was just incredible. He had so much physical pain in his body, so much. And he had gone and had scans, and they could not find a single sign of anything really wrong with him. Now, this is a sign of blocked energy. This is a sign of buildup of emotions in the body, and it's coming through as pain. So from an energy perspective, you can clear that quite quickly. It's just about channeling the new energy through. So he's been dealing with this chronic pain for such a long time. And as soon as we connected to the Reiki, he was releasing, talk about the jolts. Oh my God, he was probably the most jolty person I've ever had. And this rarely happens as well, I must add, because it is a healing journey. It does take time. I wish everyone could be healed in one session, but it rarely happens, okay? But he woke up the next day and he had no pain in his body, and he could not believe it. I couldn't believe it, because usually it takes time, right? He was like, oh my God, it was like a miracle, small miracle, right? Absolutely. And he chose to book in like 6 more sessions, not even because of the pain, just because he was fascinated. He was like, I can't believe it. And he wanted to stay in balance. And that was amazing. And then I haven't seen him again. So hopefully he's still good.
Amazing. See, everyone afford Reiki, maybe not possible, right? Having pets, not possible. Everyone not feasible. Maybe they want to, but they are in distance. So in my entire world, as you travel, I wanted to deliver some solutions who can practice at their own home. They can do by themselves, for their dogs, for their cats, for their family members, anyone they need it at the time of emergency or at the time of need. They can do it by themselves.
Of course. So one thing I would say 100%, even though you're not attuned to Reiki, we all are energy. So just being near your animal and helping them to self-soothe. So if your animal's feeling anxious, just placing your hand on them, they will feel your energy. There is a really key chakra, which is basically so with horses, it's where their shoulder meets their neck. With cats and dogs, it's where their shoulder also meets their neck, but it's a smaller space. That area is the human contact chakra. It's the area that makes an animal feel safe. It allows them to feel our love and our connection. So if your animal is experiencing trauma, pain, or they're, terminal, this is an area you can just place your hand. It's not about rubbing or stimulating. It's like on the shoulder. So it's on the side.
Okay, backing
on the
up.
side.
Okay.
Yeah, on the side. So it's not about rubbing that area or stimulating that area. It's simply placing that hand on that area and holding it there and then feeling soothed in that way. That said, Reiki works in a distant capacity. So I work with all of my clients, even though I'm not in the same country. And I know that sounds bonkers, but I'll explain how it works. But essentially, I have clients in the UK, I have the clients here in Dubai, I have clients in Asia, I have doggy clients in the UK, so I can't be everywhere at once. But the way that Reiki works is so profound because we're working with energy. Energy is everywhere.
Energy is everywhere. Absolutely.
Everywhere.
Energy can travel everywhere.
Exactly. Between space and time. It doesn't, it's so profound. So exactly as I spoke about the radio tower earlier, just how a radio tower sends out a frequency to a receiver, there is no physical connection. Reiki works in the same way. So whether I'm in the same room as you, whether I'm in Timbuktu, Australia, wherever, the same way I would connect to you or the animal in that space is the same way I would connect there. And just like the radio with the receiver, I project out that frequency and the person will receive it in the exact same way. So when I'm doing distant Reiki sessions with animals, it's obviously very different to distant sessions with people because people have the awareness and the politeness that they know they're having a healing. They will lay there the whole time. Doggies come and go, right? They're a law unto their own. They do what they want, right? So it's very important to have the owner there when you're doing an animal Reiki distance session. So we'll do that on Zoom or one of these platforms. And obviously having the owner there to calm their animal, to let their animal know it's calm now, whether they're on the sofa, the bed, on their bed, whatever. And just allowing their owner to be present with them, whether they want to place their hands on their animal, that's up to them. I will connect in the exact same way. And obviously we'll be on Zoom. So when the animal's had enough, they'll get up, same way as if I'm in the room with them, go and have a drink, go in the garden, roll around, come back again, sit down, have more healing if they like. It works in the exact same way. So distant Reiki is how I stay connected wherever I am in the world.
So you have your website. Tell us, let us or know our audience your website details and everything.
Yeah, of course. So I have a website called Uchu Energy Healing, and Uchu, UCHU, it's Japanese. It's basically means universe. So my business is called Uchu Energy Healing, Universe Energy Healing. And you can find me at uchuenergyhealing.com. You can find me on Instagram at Uchu Energy Healing.
Becca Pankhurst.
Yeah, Becca Pankhurst, that's me. And, feel free to reach out if you've got any questions. It doesn't always need to be that you're booking in. I'm here to speak to you. If you've got questions, if you're curious, just message me.
Amazing. So before we wrap up, I wanted to share something. Outside, it's too much hot. When we are talking about something spiritual, healing and everything, first thing we can help, put some water outside because it's too hot. Birds can come and have some water. Even cats can come, dogs, anyone can have, that's animals can have water. So please put a bowl of water outside. It's too much hot outside. Thank you for watching entire episode with Becca and me, Kasturi. I hope you like this episode because this podcast is about, we know problems are there, but we find out the insight and we give you the solutions. Many things are coming out more. Do not forget to comment below another guest, which one you would like to know. What is the part you like the most in this podcast? Have you met any Reiki person in your life? How your pets are taken care of in the anxiety? Let us know. We can communicate through this comment sections. We have our Instagram account. Becca also have her Instagram account. Let's Off Leash also have Instagram account. You can always come us, DM us. If you want to tell something about your dog, your cat, your animal journey, something really connected, you can come down to our Instagram account or comment below and we will get in touch with you. You can come to our studio and share your story. Thank you so much. Signing off from Kasturi.